Okay, why are you filming people's cars when they're coming out of there then? Because they're personal cars, aren't they?
Yeah, because they're in public.
Well, they're not in public at the moment.
Who are you?
I'm a police officer.
Alright.
You want to see my ID?
Yeah, I would really expect you to show it to me. Yeah.
There you go. Detective Sergeant Jamie Wiseman.
DS, yeah.
Okay.
And any detective work to be getting on with, or?
Well, no, I'm due to be
more
going
worried about. Alright, then go home then.
No, I'm more worried about you filming people's private cars. Police officers get a bit jumpy about that.
Why?
Why? Because people don't like us.
Okay,
Some
well I'm
people have
not.
vengeance against police officers, and you're filming our personal cars when we come out.
But I don't.
That makes me very jumpy.
Why? What are you jumpy about?
Well, my personal details going out on social media or something like that.
Like you're just assuming that it's going to go on social media. Do you know any of this? Like you're just assuming.
No, I'm asking you.
Because this is what I'm choosing to do with my time today.
Yeah, but why are you doing that? Did you say you're not interested in people's private?
No, I'm not.
You're recording when they come out of there.
What can I do with someone's private plate? Only yourselves in the DVLA could pull that info.
I've got no idea.
Okay, well rest assured, I'm not interested.
It makes me feel very uncomfortable.
The sergeant walks out looking tense from the start, and that's the first problem. Instead of assessing what is actually happening, he reacts to what he thinks might happen, allowing fear to influence his decisions. He claims Coley is filming private number plates, even though vehicle registration plates are displayed publicly for everyone to see. When the sergeant says, "I don't know, but it makes me feel uncomfortable," he reveals the real issue. His actions are driven by personal feelings rather than evidence or the law. Coley didn't create that discomfort. The sergeant did by confusing personal anxiety with professional responsibility.
Filming other police stations at all?
Is it your business?
Yeah, it is. I'm asking you now, yeah. Because if you're going around filming all the police stations, that makes me feel very uneasy.
Right.
And
so what are you trying to do?
To investigate that.
Okay, what do you want to investigate?
Why you are filming Hampshire police stations? Is my conversation not clear? Are you not clear on what I'm saying?
This is a camera, mate. I've given you assurances that I'm not here for any trouble.
Have I explained that? Have you not registered that?
I don't even think you are on edge. There's three of you. I've got a camera, like you guys are armed, like why would you be on edge? Should I not be the one that's on edge?
It's when we're coming out of personal vehicles.
Yeah, but what can I possibly do with your personal vehicle?
You tell me.
Then you should maybe consider taking the bus to work or something. I don't really understand.
So why should myself and my colleagues or our way of getting to work?
Because you're so concerned about security arrangements and whatnot. So if it's such a security risk...
I'll tell you why, because police officers get attacked on and off duty.
Right.
That's what makes me nervous.
Okay.
And they do that because people share our private information and track us down to where we live with our families. That makes me nervous.
This is where the excuses become difficult to take seriously. When Coley says, "If you're that worried, take the bus," the officer replies, "Why should me and my colleagues go out of our way to get to work?" That response makes little sense. The officer is the one claiming there is a security risk, not Coley. You cannot park your personal vehicle in a public place, wear a police uniform, and then complain about being seen. That is not a genuine security threat. It is simply hypocrisy. The sergeant then argues that officers are attacked because people share their private information. But that is not what is happening here. Coley is not exposing home addresses or personal details. He is simply filming from a lawful public place.
Has there been any cases of someone filming private plates and then going on to attack police officers? Well, if you don't have any idea, then you can't be making those assumptions. Like.
Well, I can.
Well, no, you just said I have no idea. Like, you're a detective, mate.
I work in this industry, in the security industry, and I know police officers have been followed home. I know police officers' vehicles have been targeted.
Okay, well, I'm telling you that I'm not interested in harming any police officer.
I don't know that, do I?
All right, well then, what are we gonna? All right, how are we gonna proceed then?
Well, I'd like you to go if possible.
So is that gonna what does that achieve? Like, I'm not gonna go.
Well, it makes me feel better. I don't understand why you want to put me on this edge.
You haven't given a good reason for doing it.
I don't need a reason though. What I'm doing is lawful.
I'm not saying it's not lawful.
Okay, so why would I need a reason?
It's just like my colleague is explaining it.
Do I have to account for my actions in a public place doing something legal? You can find it strange. It's not illegal if it's strange. Like,
is there anything you need to report to us today?
No.
Is that the reason why you're here?
No.
No. Why are you here then?
To film.
Why to film?
Because this is what I want to do.
The sergeant makes it clear that he is policing based on emotion rather than the law. When Coley calmly asks, "How can we proceed?" the sergeant answers, "I'd like you to leave if possible." When Coley follows up by asking, "What would that achieve?" the sergeant responds, "It would make me feel better." That is not law enforcement. It is policing based on personal feelings. Throughout the conversation, the sergeant repeatedly talks about his own comfort, saying things like, "It makes me uncomfortable," "It puts me on edge," and "It would make me feel better." Members of the public are not required to protect an officer's personal comfort. Police officers are there to serve the public while applying the law fairly and objectively.
Maybe other members of the public that see you doing this, and obviously police officers and police staff coming out of here, be on edge. Why does he film me? Okay.
Because we're in public. You guys have got cameras everywhere. Like you're filming.
And there's
like,
CCTV all the way around.
of
the
course
city,
there is.
there?
Exactly. So what, I don't know why we've got such a front about
Do you not think
filming.
that the police station could be a security risk?
Is it not a secure building? Like,
That wasn't my question. Do you concede that people may want to target a police station?
no.
You don't concede
Because it's not. I don't think it's a valuable target. I don't know what sort of people you're referring to. I don't think this is a valuable target for a terrorist. Has the police station ever been attacked
that? Yeah, I believe
by a
that they
terrorist?
have.
Has they?
Yeah, London
Which
police
one?
stations have been attacked quite regularly.
I don't think they have.
Okay.
Well, name one then.
So, yeah.
So you can't name them, but you're saying that it's happening. Well, which one then?
I can tell you, but I won't.
What?
I can tell you, but I won't.
You can tell me, but you won't.
Yeah.
All right, that's a bit odd. I don't know why.
You're not given a reason for being here.
When Coley questions the sergeant's claim about security threats and asks whether police stations are regularly attacked, the sergeant confidently answers, "Yes, quite regularly." That statement is misleading. While there have been isolated incidents over the years, including some connected to the Northern Ireland conflict, attacks on UK police stations are extremely rare. Modern terrorist attacks have mainly targeted public places, transport systems, and crowded locations, not ordinary police stations. The situation becomes even more unprofessional when another officer says, "I can tell you, but I won't." Instead of giving a clear answer, they avoid the question and appear more interested in winning the argument than having an honest discussion.
This was like a genuine security risk, and this genuinely posed a threat. I wouldn't be irresponsible and come and do this. Believe me. And if this was behaviour that I knew that terrorists engaged in,
But it is.
I would have.
They
No,
film
it's
targets. They
what,
definitely-
overtly
Well, they might
with
do.
this little crappy little
How do I know you're
gimbal.
not a terrorist? How do I know that? How do I know that?
You don't know that, but you have to go
Exactly
based
right.
on what you do know. There needs to be an objective
Yeah, so
basis.
What I do know is I've got a man who's not willing to give his details stood in front of me who's filming police stations.
Okay.
So that's what I do know. That's the facts.
Okay.
Is it not?
So me filming does not implicate me as any sort of like prospective terrorist
But it
or otherwise.
raises more suspicion.
Well, you can be suspicious all you want. Like it's not a crime. You suspecting me of doing something is not a crime. You need to have some sort of reasonable suspicion or objective basis to suspect me as a terrorist.
No, well, at the moment, I think you are filming a police station
Yeah.
with no reason to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You are refusing to give your details. I have no idea where that information's going, and I know you have filmed other Hampshire police stations.
This moment completely exposes the weakness of the sergeant's reasoning. When Coley says that if he had known his behavior looked suspicious, he would not have done it, the sergeant replies, "How do I know you're not a terrorist?" That is not how policing works. Officers must make decisions based on facts, not speculation. Coley correctly points out that police should act on what they actually know, not on imagined possibilities. Under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, officers need clear and objective grounds for suspicion. Instead, the sergeant claims that filming in public without explaining why is suspicious. But filming in public is perfectly legal, and refusing to answer questions is not a criminal offense. He is treating lawful behavior as suspicious without any proper legal basis.
Have a power search? Section 44? 43, is it? I think we can do that. I think we can do that.
Sure, you want to do that? I don't think you got grounds for a Section 43 search.
Well, I'm telling you, I think I do, okay? So,
No, it's not about thinking. This is objective. It's not an opinion,
Okay,
is it?
okay, look.
The legislation's black and white. It's not I think.
you can have this conversation with the solicitor afterwards, and they can come after me at a later date. That's absolutely fine, okay?
Okay.
That's your right.
So you're going to abuse my rights now, yeah?
Okay, no, I'm not. I'm going to use our powers. So
Okay.
what I'm saying, I find your behaviour very suspicious.
Okay.
You are filming not just this police station in Hampshire, but other police stations in Hampshire. You can give me no legal,
Listen to what you're saying, Hampshire.
no legal reason why you are doing
Okay.
that, other than because you want to.
Yeah,
You are
that's- I don't
refusing
need
your
a reason.
details, so we can't even verify who you are or what you are doing it for. Therefore,
I'm not obliged to
I
give
consider
details.
that to be quite a big terrorist risk. Okay, so you are now detained for this search.
This exchange highlights what happens when personal belief replaces legal understanding. When Coley says, "I don't think you have grounds," the sergeant simply replies, I think I do. Those few words reveal a serious misunderstanding of the law. Section 43 does not rely on what an officer personally believes. It requires objective, reasonable grounds that can be clearly explained and supported by facts. Coley is right when he says it is not about what someone thinks, it is about what the law allows. Using terrorism powers is one of the most serious actions a police officer can take, and it requires evidence, not assumptions or instinct.
These officers are going to search you now in order to see if there is anything that needs to raise that suspicion even further.
What items? Who's conducting the search firstly?
These two are going to conduct the search.
Well, you've just launched with it. So what are these officers going to be searching for?
Anything related to terrorism.
Such as what? That's a bit abstract, isn't it? Any sort of specific items?
Not at the moment.
So you're searching for my ID?
Well, no, and anything relating to terrorism. So if all of a sudden we find ID and that says actually this bloke's okay, there's nothing to worry about.
I am okay. I've told you I'm okay.
Yeah, I know you've told me, but I don't know that. Or it might say he's on a terrorist watch list, and then we've got something to worry about, haven't we? So
you're not going to find my info though.
That's fine, but they're going to search you for that purpose.
This power doesn't. I don't have to provide my information. This power.
No, I'm not asking to provide anything.
But you just said you're hoping to find ID, this and that, like.
Yeah, if they find it, we'll look at it.
You know, you can be sued in a civil court.
That's absolutely fine. You can go down that route. I haven't got a problem with that.
You sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
All right.
This is a textbook example of how police powers should not be used. When Coley asks what officers are searching for, the sergeant replies, anything related to terrorism. That answer is far too vague. Section 43 requires reasonable suspicion that a person is carrying articles connected to terrorism. It does not allow officers to conduct a general search in the hope of finding something suspicious. If an officer cannot clearly explain what they are looking for, the legality of the search immediately becomes questionable. When Coley also points out that the power does not allow officers to demand identification, the sergeant casually dismisses the concern, even after being warned about potential legal action. His confidence suggests he believes his authority alone will shield him from accountability.
The outcome of the search was negative, so why am I still detained? If you've completed the search...
At the moment we're trying to identify who you are.
I know, but you've just detained me for the purposes of a search, not to find out my identity. So now, as I'm further detained, this is becoming more and more unlawful, because now you're detaining me to find out my name. Like, that wasn't the object of the search, was it? You've done the search, it's come back negative. I know, but you're the one that's launched with the power, so I feel like you're the one...
The officer said you were trying to find out your identity.
Yeah, but that wasn't the purpose of the search.
Okay,
Section 43 doesn't require me to give my details.
Is that what you're saying? Do you want to go?
Yes.
All right, then.
Can I get a copy of the search slip, please?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
You've been arrested before.
Don't worry, in due time, you'll find out everything you need to know.
Okay. I'll wait in due time and then I'll know who you are, won't I?
Oh, well, I can't go.
Is he recording cars as they're coming out of there?
Yeah.
Let's take his phone off him and let's seize it. Evidence.
Evidence of what?
Hey?
Evidence
it's a security
of what?
breach, buddy, okay? I'm not having you phone in my car.
Whoa.
The video ends with a shocking incident. As Coley calmly waits for a copy of his search record, an off-duty officer suddenly rushes over, shouting, "Security breach!" before grabbing Coley's camera and switching it off. The situation then takes another turn when Coley provides an update, explaining how the police force is now trying to prevent him from pursuing the matter any further.
Okay, so now I will talk you through said developments in chronological order as best I can. If you need to pause the video at any point to digest what's going on, then feel free to do so. Naturally, the first step was to file a complaint, which you will now see on the screen. The complaint explained in great detail the events that occurred outside Southampton Police Station and my dismay with the treatment that I had received. Following my complaint, I was quickly emailed by a sergeant prompting me to come to the station to collect my phone. You guys are already aware of that. Following this, the next step was to make a subject access request in order to gain access to the body-worn footage that was compiled on me at the time of the search. I was then contacted by a member of the Public Rights Access team telling me that my request would be processed. Shortly afterwards, I was met with a letter from the Access Rights team restricting my access under provisions of Section 45.4E of the Data Protection Act in order to protect the rights and freedoms of others. This didn't make much sense to me, as the footage was compiled in a public place where privacy is not an expectation. So naturally, I drafted a letter challenging the Access team's refusal to grant me permission to get hold of this footage. And so eventually I got a reply on the 18th of November informing me that my letter had been passed on to the Public Access manager and that I was due a response on the 16th of December. Today is the 20th of December and we are still yet to receive any further correspondence from the public access team. It seems as though Hampshire Constabulary are making a concentrated effort to withhold any information from me to cover their tracks. This deceitfulness is not instilling any confidence from myself nor the public in Hampshire Constabulary. If anything, it is exposing their lack of transparency and openness in dealing with a blatant case of misconduct. So I'm simply following the letter of the law and using the tools and information given to me as via legislation.
The latest update makes this case even more concerning. After trying to follow the correct legal process by submitting a subject access request for the officer's body-worn camera footage, Coley received a refusal from Hampshire Constabulary. The force relied on Section 45(4)(e) of the Data Protection Act, claiming the footage could not be released. However, this exemption is intended to protect ongoing investigations or genuinely sensitive information, not to conceal the actions of uniformed officers carrying out their duties in a public place. There appears to be no obvious legal or ethical reason for withholding footage recorded during a public interaction. This creates the impression that the force is protecting itself rather than protecting sensitive information. If the matter were challenged in court, the lawfulness of the detention could come under close scrutiny, particularly if it was based more on assumptions than objective evidence. Claims involving false detention or human rights breaches can result in compensation where a court finds that police powers were used unlawfully. At the time of this update, there have been no further developments from Coley regarding this case. He is currently serving a sentence for an unrelated offense, which has no connection to the incident shown in this video. Regardless of that fact, the questions surrounding this detention remain important. Accountability should apply equally to everyone, and justice should always be based on facts and the proper application of the law. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to support independent content. Also, be sure to check out Coley Burke's channel using the link in the description. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.